Coming off that intro. Woo, we back. We back, baby. The impact. Who's going to make the impact? It's going to be a good show today, BA. My boy, BA from the GA, Brooks Austin, SI's own recruiting analyst. What's up, big dog? How you feeling? Fresh off the extra baby weight?
Hey, man, extra baby weight is coming in nice and heavy. But, man, glad to be back on here. Took a week off, or 2 weeks off, one or the other. Had my baby boy, Carter Thomas, born 7 pounds, just over 9 ounces. So nice, healthy baby downstairs whining and wailing like he should be. Got a good set of lungs on him, boy. We hear that all through the house. But, man, it's been a crazy 2 weeks. A little over 10 days old, but what a blessing. Obviously, I mean, you got kids of your own, so it's something that nobody in the world can compare you or prepare you for. No, all the what do you call it? All the cliches in the world, nothing will ever fit. Quite like actually having a child and seeing them and being around them. So, man, it's been great. But I'm glad to be back to work, man. I'm glad to be back on here talking some football and talking about some commits.
Listen, we're talking some football. We're talking Power 5 commits. We're going to talk a little bit about the number 122 quarterback in the country, some people's number 1 player in the country. We're going to talk about some people's number 1 defensive tackle in the country. Let's start off in your neck of the woods, SEC country, but going to a Big Ten school.
Yep.
Tight end, Holden State, commits to Penn State. Talk to me about what you see on tape, what you like about this kid.
So obviously the tape's one thing, but I've seen Holden in person working out over with Terrence Edwards probably a dozen times at this point. 6'5", 225 pounds. Those are up-to-date numbers. I talked to him today just to get kind of his measurables and see where he's at with his commitment. And again, man, he's as fluid and dynamic of an athlete as you can possibly see at the tight end position. I know we've seen the A-Rick Gilberts over the last couple of years. This is a little bit different. It's a little longer, a little more linear of a prospect, not so tight and compact as A-Rick is. A-Rick was a grown man when he was about 14 years old. Holden's still going to get bigger and develop a little bit more when he gets to Penn State and even throughout his high school years. And he's still pretty physically impressive. But he's just one of those guys, man, when you go watch him work out, if there's cameras around, he's one of those kids you've got to keep a camera on at all times because you never know what he's going to do. I've seen this kid make acrobatic catches that just guys his size playing his position at tight end probably shouldn't be doing. And he plays in an offense at Westminster that, say what you want about pro-style offenses, but if they do one thing, they prepare the tight end for what they're going to be seeing in the college ranks, especially in the Big Ten. This guy knows how to be an end-of-the-line blocker. He knows how to get in a three-point stance, which these days it's a dime a dozen. Most kids don't understand how to do it, and they don't want to do it. Holden's one of these kids that does. So I think he fits in really, really good in the Big Ten, even though he obviously was flooded with SEC offers. He's my number 1 tight end in 2022 for a litany of reasons, a lot of which I just named, but I think he's just scratching the surface of what he's going to be. Look, Keith, this isn't a guy that was, flooded with major offers in middle school, okay? He wasn't flooded with offers his freshman year of high school. He didn't get an offer until this spring, and his first offer was from Michigan. So since then, he's got about 25 offers, and since March of this year, he's chased down all these offers, and now he's committed to Penn State. So I think Penn State got a great football player here.
I like his versatility at the tight end position.
Yeah.
Normally, when you talk about a kid who's 2 years from graduating high school, he's more of a one-trick pony. Either he's an athletic mismatch or he's a guy that's a physical blocker. I think he combines the best of both worlds. I love his ability down the football field. He's athletic. I love his high point ability. But also he's a relentless blocker. I love the way he gets after people. He's a nasty finisher. When you combine those two things in a kid who's 6'5" and 220 pounds, 225 pounds, still growing, I think you're looking at a big-time college football player, but a big-time NFL guy as well. Like Holden State a lot. If he's not the number 1 tight end in the country in 2022, I'd like to see who is. But I love him as a hybrid guy. He's the NFL mode hybrid guy right now in high school 2 years ago.
Yeah, just wait until you see what this kid looks like as a freshman in college. I mean, he's going to get up to 245 pounds, and it's going to get freaky. I mean, it's going to get as freaky as some of these guys that we've already talked about and named in terms of like A-Rick Gilbert. I think A-Rick's got a little more of a route, tree built together. But Holden's just started really training, running these routes and figuring it out, and he's getting a lot better just in the last 5 months since I've been seeing him. So definitely an ascending prospect as well.
No doubt. James Franklin getting a guy, doing a great job recruiting there at Penn State as always. And they get probably the number 1 tight end 2022. Moving along, fresh out of New Orleans, Louisiana, Warren Easton High School, 2022 defensive lineman Sean Washington commits to LSU. We talked a little off air about Sean. This is a huge suck up. Okay. It's all of 6'4.5", 305 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't play his sophomore year because of eligibility reasons. Also had some injury issues, but he's back now. He's on the camp circuit, on the showcase circuit. And this is a big rascal up in the interior. Going to remind some people of this last April's number 1 draft pick in the first round, Derek Brown out of Auburn. Sean Washington, a lot of talent, a lot of potential, but he's got to hone in, lock in, and be accountable and productive in between the lines. What'd you see on tape?
First of all, I think the difference between Sean and Derek is, Derek's got the feet of a ballet dancer. Derek Brown is one of the best athletes I've ever seen at 300 pounds. Just watch what he did. Dang near took a fumble recovery back for a touchdown against Florida last year. So the comparison there, size-wise, might be there. But again, Derek Brown is one of the more freaky athletes I've ever seen at that size. This kid, just to tell you how good the freshman tape was, he committed to LSU over Alabama, Florida, Texas, and USC, again, based solely off the freshman tape. And if you go back and look at his freshman tape, he's pretty thin. He's playing outside on the edge, playing defensive end, playing 4-eye. That's not what it looks like now. That's not what kids these colleges are going to get their hands on when he shows up to college, because the kid's going to be, like you said, 6'4", 305. And to me, it doesn't look like he's done putting on weight. And honestly, I've seen some of the latest footage of him at Camp Circus, thanks to our guys out there at our LSUSI.com site. And it doesn't look like great weight. And I know he took a year off. I understand that. But it wasn't due to injuries, okay? It was due to transfer rules and stuff like that. He could have been in the gym. He could have been training. He could have been doing good things. I'm not saying that he didn't. But, again, we're evaluating. He got these offers off of freshman tape where he looks like he's about 270 pounds. And now we're talking about a kid that's 305 pounds and looks totally different. So you really may not even get to see him until his senior year, because the Louisiana area has already pushed their high school football back to late October. So who knows whether or not they're actually going to get to play. And if they do, what kind of season they're going to be playing there at Warren Easton. So you might go 2 years without seeing game tape on this kid. And he's going to show up his senior year and look like God knows what. This is a shade technique that's only got tape at defensive end. To me, Keith, that scares me as an evaluator, just because I don't know what it's going to look like. But what you do know is the frame and the size. But that's about it. That's all you can evaluate right now.
If you have the type of athleticism to play the edge as a freshman, what does that say to you as a coach, as a college coach who's recruiting you? That athletic ability and that nimbleness is there. Mm-hmm. Now, did he gain maybe a little bit more weight than he probably planned to? Probably, right? I did hear of an injury in the offseason that kind of held him back. So he's just now starting to get himself going. I love his ability to stack and shed.
It was a lower body injury, I'm assuming.
Not sure. I'm not sure. I just said injury. They did not pinpoint.
From what I saw, the weight he put on was upper body. It looked like the kid hadn't been able to train his legs. So that's just a hypothetical right there. I don't know either. But if you're telling me there was an offseason injury, I would venture to say it was in his lower half, because I would say if he put 40 pounds on, 25 to 30 of it looked like he put it on in his upper body, waist up.
No, I can see that. I love his length for an interior guy. The reason why I had the Derek Brown comparison, Derek Brown's a guy with extremely long limbs for a big guy on the interior. And that bodes well. Sean's going to be a zero tech, shade tech. He's going to catch the double. He's going to lock out. He's going to be able to fight off as that guard works the second level. I love his ability to stack and shed. I love his length. I think he has the athleticism. Does it need to be developed? Does it need to be honed in on? Absolutely. But I think it's there. He's got a couple more years of high school. I think he's going to do a good job. I think he's going to be a good fit for LSU if he ends up at LSU. But he's committed right now. Let's move along. We're going to the state of Texas. Interesting prospect here. A former LSU commit, 2020 linebacker Landon Watson commits to TCU. I've heard that before somewhere. LSU to TCU. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Marcel Brooks just transferred from being a national champion to TCU. Landon Watson now goes from LSU commitment to TCU. And I saw some things I liked on tape. but I was not blown away. I was not impressed. I was not in awe of what he could do. Now, you got to remember, I'm used to seeing a guy like Rajon Davis on a weekly basis out here in Southern California. He's the premier outside linebacker in the country. Landon Watson does not meet that standard for me. There's nothing wrong with that. But looking at my notes, the best thing I liked about him was his intensity. The best thing I liked about him, his intensity. I can coach a guy that loves the game and plays with that type of love and passion, intensity for the game. But I just was not impressed, Brooks. Go ahead and tell me what you saw.
I mean, I like that we're going to disagree multiple times tonight. I know we've already talked off air. There's one coming later that we really disagree on. I like Landon Watson's tape, honestly. 6'3", 245 pounds, or 240 pounds. I saw a fluid athlete. I saw an athlete that can move. When you see him on tape, he took an interception back for 6. I mean, the dude can move in the open space. I don't know what part of this kid's film and his frame, when you compare what he did on tape to me and what he's got in terms of a physical frame, I don't know how this is a 3-star recruit. I understand how he could have ended up at LSU. That makes more sense to me on tape. I think he's explosive and he sets the edge really, really well. Though the thing I do question, I think what you're hitting on here and what you may not see in it, I don't see a pass rush skill set yet. I don't see that at all, which does scare me as an evaluator. If you're going to go play defensive end and true outside 7-tech defensive end, you better be able to hand fight and you better be able to bend the edge. I don't see that quite yet, but I'm interested to see what happens when you allow him to do that, because what he was playing in out there in Texas was that 4-eye technique. He was playing inside shoulder of the tackle and was still, I like the way when I see him take run fits, I like the way he reads and reacts off the line of scrimmage. He doesn't get reached. I mean, from an inside 4-eye technique, he sets the edge really, really well. You almost don't need an outside linebacker for him on his side of the football. I like everything he does in the run game. I'm with you. I wasn't impressed with what he does in the pass game. But then again, it's really, really hard to rush the passer from a 4-eye technique, okay? Not everybody's the Lynch kid from Baylor from last year, okay? Not everybody gets 12.5 sacks out there at Baylor playing in an inside 4-eye technique. It's really, really hard. Let's see what he does at TCU when they actually line him up on the outside, on the edge, and allow him to bend, or at least try to bend, because I see an explosive athlete, okay? When he's moving and pursuing the ball carrier, that intensity that you're seeing, I'm seeing explosiveness when I see it. The intensity's there. I do think he could finish through the whistle a little bit, okay? When the ball's on the ground, don't celebrate. Go get the ball, okay? You created a fumble, now go recover the fumble is the only thing I would say about Landon Watson. But I was impressed, man, and I'm glad, at least, you know, most of the time when we get on here, Keith, you and I are two kindred spirits. We like the prospects we like. We don't like the prospects we both don't like. Tonight, we're going to get a little bit of disagreement. I think that's good for the viewers. Yeah, no question. I have in my notes, because what's interesting to me is they have him marked down here. I have 6'2", 225. Now, you mentioned 6'3", 240. That's a whole different athlete. Mm-hmm. And Gary Patterson's known as a 4.25 guy. Known as a 4.25 guy, right? So if you say, okay, Landon Watson coming in at what I see is 6'2", 225 on tape. I do not see 6'3", 240. I don't see that. I see this kid being an inside linebacker. I don't see the length. I don't see the edge speed and quickness. I don't see the size to be on the edge. I see an inside linebacker. I think that's what he projects at the next level. I do not see an edge rusher here. Not for me. All right, let's move along. Corey Collier Jr., 4-star cornerback. Is he, though? Is he? Going to the University of Florida. I'm just telling you what they have him listed, okay? Going to the University of Florida. I'm going to tell you what I like about this kid. I like his size. I like his range. I like his speed. I like his radius. More of a safety for me. He's a center fielder. He's a striker. At times, he's a striker. Mm-hmm. He will lean into you, and he will explode upwards with them shoulder pads. Corey Collier Jr., going to Florida. He's from Miami. BA. You like him. I can tell by the look in your eyes. Go with it. I mean, we're going to be talking about 3 Palmetto kids tonight. Yes. Corey Collier, Jason Marshall, and, of course, we'll finish the show with Leonard Taylor. This was probably my second favorite, okay? And it's not the 5-star, all right? Everyone wants to talk about our boy Jason Marshall Jr., who we're going to be talking about next. I like Corey Collier tape just a little bit more, and I don't know what he's going to play. But first of all, let's just talk about this DB class that Florida's putting together and how deep it is. But it's just to me, I don't think they get to signing day with this many kids. Think about it. You got Marshall, Collier, Wilcoxon, who I know is reclassing to 2020, but to me, he's still a member of this 2021 class. Okay, McMillan, who we've talked about on this show, Young, and Dakota Mitchell. Okay, we're talking about 6 guys. And I know you like, when we talk about Dakota Mitchell, you liked him more on the offensive side of the football, yes, but they've got him listed and they got him going to play defense out there. So that's 6 defensive backs in one class. And I understand you play 5 defensive backs every down basically in college football nowadays, but that's a bit too many. I think one of these guys falls out eventually, and it's not going to be Wilcoxon as much as everybody thinks it is, because he's about to enroll. So that's not going to be it. He did play a good bit of corner out there at Palmetto High School. We're talking about Collier again. And that might be where he ends up in college. But look, one of these guys, whether it's Wilcoxon or our boy Corey Collier, one of them's going to have to play safety. And I can tell you right now, it ain't going to be Wilcoxon. And you know how I know? Because he told me it ain't going to be Wilcoxon. I straight up. Kamar Wilcoxon is one of these dudes. You talk to him, he don't mess around. He is a straight shooter. He will tell you what he thinks and only what he thinks. And I told him, I said, you're a safety. He goes, no, I'm not. I'm a corner. I said, your film and the way you hit says you are a safety. He said, I don't like to hit. I just did that because coach made me play safety. I don't like to hit. I like to cover. So I said, oh, well, okay, that solves that. You ain't playing safety in college no matter how much they want you to play. You just ain't going to stick there because you can't hit or you don't want to hit. If you don't want to hit in the SEC, you ain't never going to hit. It ain't like that in high school. I mean, if you don't want to hit in high school, you're still physically dominant enough to do it. You're going to light some folks up. But as far as Collier, man, goes, a really smooth, long athlete, right? 6'2". How big is he going to get, though? Because he's rail thin. That's my problem. But the surprising thing is that dude sticks. You talked about it, man. He is a thumper, okay? And he's only 175 pounds. So if he gets up to 200, 205, because you never know what these kids' home life is like. You never know how much they're actually eating. You don't know what the meal plan looks like. I guarantee you it ain't what Florida's going to be stuffing in him for 3 years, 4 years, however long he's there. So how much bigger does he get is the question. Because I'm going to tell you what, if he comes out in a couple years looking like Trey Dean does, have you seen Trey Dean lately?
Yes.
Because I have. That dude is freakish, freakish. If that weight program puts weight on Corey Collier like they did Trey Dean, he's a dominant safety, and I think that's where he's going to stick.
There's no doubt. He's going to be 200 pounds before you know it. He's a center fielder. He's a quintessential center fielder, right? Mm-hmm. He's going to track the ball down, sideline to sideline. He's going to own the hashes, and he's going to punish people. He's a bit of an enforcer in the middle of the field, and I love his athleticism and his ball skills as well. Let's move along. We're talking about a new teammate, an old teammate, and a new teammate. Defensive back to 5-star, 4. Some people got him 4 stars, some got him 5-star. Jason Marshall Jr., Palmetto, Miami. Looking at my notes, BA, here's the deal. This kid's an elite athlete, okay? Mm-hmm. He's an elite with an elite ball skills. I see where the 5-star comes in at, right?
Yeah.
You have a great athlete with great ball skills. And I love his size. I love his ability to 50-50 defend. Nowadays, it's all about being on that island. Because if you're going to stop the run, you got to play man-to-man. You got to play man-to-man. And those corners are going to be on that island. And if you look at LSU last year, they dominated one-on-one, right?
Yep. Both sides of the ball.
Both sides of the ball. But I'm just talking about those receivers, right? Those receivers dominated with the ball in the air. This kid is elite with the ball in the air. And he's a very good athlete. Jason Marshall Jr., Palmetto, Miami, BA, go. What you got?
Saw the same things you saw. I mean, this is a quintessential cover corner, okay? You just throw him out there, say, hey, go play man-to-man, and he's going to be fine. You ain't going to have to worry about him. And then, he's got ball skills enough and great recognition skills enough to be really, really well and exceed in cover 3 and cover 4. Any type of zone coverages you want to run, he's going to be able to get it done as well. But I like what you like. I like the ability to just say, hey, we got a dude from the other team that's really, really good at the wide receiver position. Jason, can you handle him? Yes, sir. I got you, coach. Don't worry about it. All right. We'll move on to the rest of the game plan. Now we're playing 10 on 9 and we're simplifying the game plan just a little bit more. I think that's what this kid's got. And I also think he's going to play really early. Okay. Not as much as the next Palmetto kid that I think we're going to really be talking about in terms of Juwan Taylor. I think that kid's going to be playing exceptionally early at Miami. I think Marshall plays early at Florida as well. But again, so deep in that DB crew, the job that those recruiter guys are doing in the defensive backfield, to get these guys, because you know as well as I do, Keith, it's not that these kids don't like to compete anymore. It's that they want playing time early. And you know what the hardest thing to get playing time early is? Coming with some other dudes in your group that are just as good or better than you, and they're fighting for playing time early as well. I do, like I said, have to admit, I think Corey Collier's tape's just a little bit more flashy. Okay, he does more wow things in terms of being, you know, an impactful football player on the field. But this kid does all the stuff that, you know, you may not see. And I also see on tape, it's hard to tell, but it is easy to tell because you don't see a ton of tape. Yeah. They weren't going after this kid. No. Teams were not throwing at this kid. And that tells you what everybody in South Florida knows, which is this dude is a lockdown cover corner. And that's all you got to be a 5-star nowadays. Have the length, which he does, 6'2", 180 pounds, and be able to lock it down. And that's exactly what he does. So I'm sold on Jason Marshall Jr. I would like to see more of it. But you know what? We're going to get to see it. When he gets on the field as a freshman at Florida, people are going to go after him. Yeah. People are going to go after him just because he's a freshman. People went after Derek Stingley Jr. until they realized, oh, never mind. That ain't the one to play with. Yeah, that ain't the one to play with. I don't think that's this kid, but he's really good.
No, he's good. I like him. I like him a lot. Let's move along. I'm going to let you lead this one off. Your Georgia Dogs, this Georgia Bulldogs, they got a guy, BA. They got a guy, and he's from my side of the country. And I'm going to let you start it off, but I'm telling you right now, they got a gift. That is a gift from God that landed to the Georgia Bulldogs. Go ahead. Take it away.
I mean, first of all, how about Todd Hartley? This is the second year in a row he's gone out to the West Coast and pulled out a straight-up freak, okay, and a totally different freak than what he got last year. Last year, he pulled out Darnell Washington out of Nevada. Darnell Washington is 6'7.5". I know, Keith, don't rain on the parade yet. Okay, 6'7.5", and is a dynamic athlete at the tight end position. Whether or not Keith thinks he's going to stay there is a whole topic of another discussion. But Brock, totally different type of athlete here in Brock Bowers. 6'3", 225 pounds, and is rocked up. I mean, rocked up. I think he is the most explosive athlete at the tight end position in the 2021 class. And quite frankly, I don't think it's very close. I mean, you can tell me if I'm wrong, Keith, but I don't see a dude at the tight end position or that super slot position that we like to call it so much. I don't see anybody doing this type of stuff that this dude does. He is a legit 4.5 runner, and the play speed is off the charts. And the most impressive thing I saw is the 40-inch vertical. That just tells you right there how explosive this dude is and how much time he spends in the weight room. And he can run just about any route. I mean, just about any route from any part of the field. And once the ball's in his hands, he is beyond dangerous. I saw him kick return for a touchdown, about an 85-yard kick return. He fits exactly what Georgia's trying to do moving forward in their new system and the new wave of college football. This is what tight ends look like nowadays. I call them super slots because they're going to be in the slot matched up against linebackers, matched up against safeties, matched up against slot corners, and he is going to athletically overwhelm almost everybody, even in the SEC. That's why they went after this kid so hard, because that's the type of weapon he's going to be when he gets on campus.
You know, listen, I know that you have the Georgia fans on lock, right? The Georgia Bulldog. If you're a Georgia Bulldog fans and you're not following Brooks Austin SI on Twitter, shame on you. You need to just go sit yourself in a bunker somewhere. Listen, Darnell Washington,
don't do it.
Is 6'7", 6'8", 285 pounds. Next week he'll be 300.
Oh God!
And get ready, he's moving to left tackle.
Oh no!
Or he's transferring. Either one of the two. What happened? Darnell Washington just transferred?
No. You always think when I grab my phone, I got breaking news. Yeah. First of all, he's 270 pounds. Okay. And he's 6'7.5". What are you supposed to be? 225? He's so damn tall. He's got enough weight. It ain't bad weight. Okay. If you look at him, he ain't fat. He ain't chubby. He ain't got no loose, body fat. He don't look like me. Put it that way. Okay. It ain't loose. So just because this is the pet peeve I have in recruiting. I know we're steering off in another direction. It's the same discussion we can have about James Williams. Just because you haven't seen it done before at that height and that weight doesn't mean it can't be done, okay? So recruiting guys get into this. They try to fit guys into a box all the time. Mm-hmm. Let the kid try. Let him do it before you just say, hey, well, he might. Who cares? Leonard Pope, and I know this was a long time ago. Leonard Pope was 6'7", 285 pounds. He played tight end, okay? But he was a blocking tight end. I understand that. This kid
was
can
he
do
285? Leonard Pope, was he 285?
Whoa,
I know
whoa.
Leonard Pope pretty well.
Leonard Pope was a heavy dude.
He's never been 285 in his life. He's not 285 now, and he's 10 years, and he's 5 years removed. So listen.
Okay, this is a different kid. He's long, linear. I think he's athletic. I think Darnell Washington's going to stick at tight end, okay? That's just me. And even if he's only a red zone tight end, even if you only use him inside the 30s, okay, he's still going to be a weapon. Nobody's going to be able to body him, okay? Even if you guard him, he's still got a foot on you, no matter what, plus his arm length. So I think the discussion of him moving to tackle, give it 3 years before you bring it to me. But don't just shut him out already.
No, I'm not shutting him out. Just remember I told you. This is what I do. This is why they pay me the big bucks. But let's go back to Brock Bowers.
Yes.
Georgia fans, you have just got a commitment from what I think is the best tight end prospect since probably Brevin Jordan, who's at the University of Miami. And he's probably a better prospect than Brevin Jordan. Brevin Jordan I had as the number one tight end in the country. Nobody had number one tight end in the country. Now, they're talking about him being a first-round draft pick.
I was about to say, he'll be a top 40 pick.
Yeah. Brock Bowers is the best tight end prospect I've seen over the last 5 years. All of 6'3", all of 220, and there's nothing he can't do. You want him to inline, he can crash down on somebody in a power game. You want him to split him out in the slot, he can beat press man. You want to put somebody bigger on him, he'll put you into the ground. This is a physical route runner. He will knock you off your pedal and leave you in the dirt, sniffing daisies. Brock Bowers you talked about explosive athlete. We talked a little bit off air about George Kittle, just signed for $75 million. This is George Kittle on steroids. That's what you're looking at.
I like
this
that.
kid will be a better route runner, a better athlete, and a bigger playmaker if they throw him the ball. I'm telling you, this kid is the real deal Holyfield. There's no question in my mind he's going to be special at Georgia. He's going to be able to do everything in that offense. He's going to be a mismatch nightmare for defenses. You put a nickel corner on him, he's going to plant you into the ground because he's just way too physical.
Yeah.
You put a safety on him, he's going to leave you. His route running is elite. He can get in and out of breaks. He can stick his foot in the ground and separate with the best of them. You want to put a linebacker on him, say goodnight. Strike up the band. It's over. It's over. Georgia hit a home run with Brock Bowers. A home run. The kid is elite. He is 5 stars. I know people he's a 4-star here. He's a whatever there. He is a 5-star football player. Don't tell me about prospect. 5-star. You put him in the backfield, he would be a 4-star running back. That is fact.
He's got tape at running back.
That is fact.
I don't think you can commend Todd Hartley enough for what he did, because from day one, when the 2021 cycle opened up, everybody in the country knew that Brock Bowers was Georgia's number one and only target at tight end. Yeah, they flirted around with some other guys because they might hit on him, or they might miss on Bowers. But they went after Bowers harder than anybody in this class. I mean, he honed in on Brock Bowers, sole focus, sole attention, and they landed the kid, brought him all the way from California when schools like Washington are in his backyard, schools like Oregon was on him too, Stanford was on him too. So all those schools out there were all over him, and he comes out of the East Coast. He took a trip out here to Athens by himself with his parents on his own dime just to see the school, just to make sure he was, making the right decision. And I think he did, because what they're doing in this offense, what they're moving closer towards, man, he's going to be special. They're going to use him a lot.
If I'm Darnell Washington, one or two things are going to happen. Either one, I go to left tackle, or two, I transfer. Brock Bowers is coming. That means Darnell Washington is going either to left tackle or he's going to transfer school. I'm just telling you, there is no comparison.
Hey, bro, you've been in this game longer than I have. I'm just saying that let's see. Let's just see, okay? Because I know separation is going to be a problem for Darnell Washington. I understand that, but again, He ain't got to separate. As long as the ball placement's correct, which I know that's putting a lot on your quarterback, but he's so damn massive, man. And I know a lot of these guys are big, but he looks extra big out there on the football field. So let's just see. Let's see what it looks like. Otherwise, if it's go to left tackle, he might as well go be a hooper, bro. He might as well go play power forward and dunk on folks, because I guarantee you he don't want that smoke at left tackle. I just don't think he's a tackle prospect. I think you can leave him at tight end.
That's the enigma of Darnell Washington.
Yeah.
It's 6'8" and it's 270, but is he a dog? Is he a dog though? Because I'm gonna tell you who is a dog. The 5'8". Well, Brock Bowers is the dog. That's not to be up for questioning or discussion. But the 5'8" Andre Selden Jr., who's at the University of Michigan, who matched up with Darnell Washington in Under Armour practices in fade drills and locked him down 5'8" versus 6'8".
That's fair. All fair discussions, bro. All fair discussions.
Facts.
But when you watch him move, man, they were designing, and I know it's Nevada football. They were designing damn bubble screens for this dude. They're running like a gazelle, okay? The dude can move in open field. That's why I want to see him with the ball in his hands, because he's frightening with that ball in his hands. But hey, we'll just have to see, man. We'll have to wait that out.
We'll definitely have to see. Let's move along. We got our man, 4-star offensive lineman, Rocco Spindler. He's got a lot of lineage. He commits to Notre Dame. Notre Dame's got a really good offensive line class. Really good. Blake Fisher's one of my favorite prospects in the country. I mean, he's going to be an animal at the next level. When it all comes together for him, you better look out. He's going to be a big time problem up front. But Rocco Spindler plays the inside. He's going to be a guard. He's 4-star. And you saw some things on tape that you didn't like. You have some questions.
I do.
Why don't you go ahead and tell the people?
Yeah, I can't lie. I wasn't overly impressed with the tape. Look, I get the pedigree. I get his dad was, a 7-year pro. I get the frame. He's 6'5", 300 pounds, looks ripped up. I can tell you he's physically peaked. I can tell you that right now. He's not going to get much bigger. He's not going to get much stronger in college. I don't believe that. I don't get the hype on this one, okay? Not an incredible athlete when you watch him move. Doesn't move great. Doesn't establish great hand or hat placement, which is kind of shocking considering the lineage. You would think he'd be a little better coached up. He slides to his blocks more often than he does take great steps, which is a major problem to me, okay? I want to see good footwork from offensive linemen, especially guards, okay? That first 2-3 steps is no more important on any position than it is at the guard and center position for interior offensive linemen. And honestly, even the finishing reps, okay? We talk about wanting to see what a 4- or 5-star offensive lineman look like. Watch him finish. The finishing reps don't look overly impressive to me, okay? You want to look what a 4- or 5-star guard looks like? Go watch Michael Morris finish down here in South Georgia football. Okay, his kid's up there playing in Michigan football, which, look, the size was there. I don't know if he's playing against the type of athletes that he's going to be seeing even on a Notre Dame schedule. The finishing reps didn't look great. Even when he finished, his feet were tied together. So he's going to get thrown off those blocks when he gets into the college ranks. Again, there's great frame. There's tremendous potential. The tape and tech just aren't there for me. But again, who am I, Brooks Austin, SI, to be sitting here questioning what Notre Dame's going to be doing with offensive linemen? Because look at their track record, okay? Their track record speaks for itself. They know what they're doing at the offensive line position. I just don't get this one. I don't see what other people are seeing other than the fact that he looks physically impressive when he gets off the bus. And my God, does he look physically impressive.
Yeah. Listen, all of 6'6" and 320. Playing in the interior, right? Playing in the interior. This is what we call a projection commit, right? Go ahead.
He's 6'6", 320. Why is he playing in the interior? Because he's not that great of an athlete. Okay, right. Go ahead.
Right. Again, this is a projection deal. You talk about the lineage. You talk about the frame. Right there, he's a 4-star. The lineage and the frame, right there, they're going to call him a 4-star. Now, is he a great athlete? No. But is he athletic enough? Yeah. I've seen him work second level. I've seen him get out on the screens. He's got pretty good foot speed, foot quickness, balance, and coordination. Now, on contact, does his feet get a little tight? Yes. Does he need to be more dominant at the point? Yes. Does he need to create and generate more power on contact? Absolutely. But again, I like the upside. That's where I'm at. I like the upside.
And look,
great.
Like I said, man, Notre Dame can develop them better than anybody. You can make the argument better than anybody in the country. So if what they're banking on is pedigree and frame, they made a good gamble because the gamble's all in their development and their coaching staff. And that offensive line coaching staff has proved that they can do it. And all the stuff I talked about when we're talking about pad level, his hat and hands, all that stuff can be fixed. We can teach a kid to bring his hips, what you can't teach 6'6", 320. Okay. And the strength and the raw numbers that he has in terms of his power numbers, I guarantee they're through the roof just looking at the kid, in shorts and a t-shirt. He's put together, he's spent some time in the weight room. But I worry about whether or not he's physically peaked. I worry about the technique and the pad level and the feet and all that good stuff. All that stuff maybe they can finish and fix up. We'll have to see.
I expect that staff to clean him up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they did coach Quentin Nelson. He's only the greatest offensive guard in the history of American football. So I expect him to clean it up. Again, it's a projection.
I'm holding you on that one too. I would take another Notre Dame kid and Zach Martin as the greatest guard ever.
Oh,
Zach,
no. Zach Martin is good.
Everybody's puffing smoke about Quentin Nelson. He's only been in the league 2 years. Let's see what he does year 7, like Zach Martin's doing. Zach Martin's still all-pro year 7 in the league. So let's just pump the brakes a little bit. Okay, Zach Martin was a top 10 pick as well. Zach Martin, best Notre Dame guard to come out. And I understand Quentin Nelson. Quentin Nelson's got all the – I want Quentin Nelson's PR guy, okay, because I've met Quentin in person. Not the best talker in the world, okay, not the best personality in the world. But, again, he's offensive lineman. Most of us don't have shining personalities like yours truly, okay? Some of us are introverts, okay? Not all of us are extroverts.
This is true.
We like to hit people and eat, okay? So does Quentin. But I'm just telling you, Zach Martin, 7 years in, still all pro. Give it some time. And I ain't saying Quentin Nelson ain't going to be a Hall of Famer because he's on track to do so. Okay, he's made 2 All-Pros in his first 2 years of the league. That's only been done by Hall of Famers, okay? That's it. The only people to ever do that, Hall of Famers. So he's on the right track. I'm still y'all sleeping on my boy Zach Martin.
Listen, Zach Martin is good, but I've seen him be dominated. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Go watch the I think it's Calais Campbell is who put Quentin Nelson in the dirt. Go watch Quentin Nelson week 1 or week 2, I believe it was. Granted his rookie year, but he was an all-pro his rookie year. We've only got 2 to evaluate. Go watch him against Jadeveon Clowney. Jadeveon Clowney put that boy 6 yards in the backfield. Okay, it happens. Everybody gets got in the NFL.
It's the NFL.
In the interior. It's the NFL. Everybody gets got. But I'm telling you, everybody just wants to puff. And Quentin's great. Again, Quentin is great. First of all, this dude we just got done talking about ain't neither of these 2 guys.
No.
Rocco ain't neither of these 2 guys.
That wasn't the point.
No. But I like that we're talking Notre Dame offensive linemen. I'm just saying they're 1A, 1B. And you can argue which one you want. And I probably went a little heavy on the Zach Martin talk.
You went a little heavy. It was
straight heavy. But everybody just forgets about him, man. And
I'm not forgetting. No, he's
been a 5-year-old
really good
in 7 years. He's great.
He's really good. Q is a different dude, though. And anybody's been following me, they know in that draft where Saquon was in that draft, I said Q is the best player in coming out.
Yeah.
And I love Saquon. I mean, he's as good as you can get as a running back. But I'm a big Q guy, and I have been for the last 5 years. So let's move along. We're talking Notre Dame football again. They got a linebacker coming in. Jalen Smith comes to mind when I watch this guy on tape. You talk about speed and power. Prince Coley. Now, I don't know if Prince is Nigerian. I don't know. He might be from a different country. But let me tell you something. That boy's coming.
Yeah.
And when he's coming, he's drumming. Yeah. He's trying to knock your head off.
Yeah.
He's running side. And listen, this kid can close. He can accelerate. He can finish. And when he gets to you, it's like a Mack truck. Prince Coley, man, I like this dude. This dude right here, he's a player. He's going to be a leader of that Notre Dame defense within 2 to 3 years. And he'll be their leading tackler for 2 years. He'll average 100 tackles a season. I like this cat, man. He can rush the passer. He can run sideline to sideline. He can jump passing lanes. There's not much he can't do at 6'2", 200. And Jalen Smith is a great comparison, I think, right here. Go ahead, BA.
Can we just do something right now, you and I, Keith? Can we just do away with the outside linebacker position as a whole? You agree that everybody's running nickel, right?
Yes.
Okay, you agree. Can we just take defensive ends and edge rushers? Just that's it. You're either a true defensive end or you're an edge rusher like Von Miller and Khalil Mack, or you play inside linebacker. Okay, this outside linebacker position ceased to exist in modern football. It doesn't happen. Okay, nobody is leaving an outside linebacker at 6'3", 235 pounds in the slot. Okay, it ain't happening. It's just not. So can we just remove the position as a whole? Because when you look up Prince Coley and you ask him what he is, he'll tell you he's an athlete. The rest of the recruiting services in this world will tell you he's an outside linebacker just because he plays on the edge in high school and rushes the passer. I'm telling you right now, he's 6'1", 203 pounds. He is a inside linebacker. Okay. Yeah. Notre Dame runs a 4.25, just like about 95% of the rest of the country. All right. He's going to be playing inside linebacker. Let's just remove the outside linebacker discussion from the rest of eternity. Let's get it away until people start running into tight ends and we start, inline tight ends and we bring back 3 linebacker boxes and all that stuff. Just remove it. It's Mike and Will. That's it. There is no Sam no longer. All right. On to Coley. Love him. Absolutely love the prospect. I guarantee you this kid, like you said, will play. He's going to need to add some weight on. He's about, like I said, 203, going to need to get up to about 225, 230 before he gets onto the field. And I guarantee you he'll do it like that when he gets to college, okay? He is a really, really good athlete, explosive as can be. And, he's even carried the ball. He will carry the ball this year for his high school football team, which goes to show you what kind of athlete he is. Got great play strength, man. When this guy arrives to the ball, just nothing but explosion. Explosion. All right. This is the definition of an explosive and instinctual athlete. I like this kid's instincts a lot. He's got a real good nose for the football, and he's even got some ball skills. We watch him play some tight end. It's kind of freaky watching him track the football. So I like Prince Coley a lot, man. I mean, Georgia was heavily in on it. I mean, they're probably never going to give him the green light because they're waiting out some other guys at the linebacker position. But Coley, man, a really, really good football player. Like you said, I don't quite see Jalen Smith just because Jalen Smith's probably 6'4", and Jalen Smith real tall,
about
real
6'3".
long. Yeah. 6'3". So, I mean, explosive wise, athletically, I think it's a good comparison. The frame's not quite there. Jalen Smith's a freak from day one. This isn't quite that kid. We'll see what it looks like sophomore year, but I'm with you. I think it's a 100-tackle kid just because he's got such a good nose for the football, and he's really, really fast.
Man, his speed to the ball is pretty eye-popping. I'm in my feelings a little bit, BA. I'm in my feelings.
What did I do?
You just broke me down, because I was an outside linebacker. And I'll never forget when the conversation you just engaged in played out in my real life, right?
Oh,
we're on the road.
It went nickel. You got off the field.
Oh, man,
listen, sorry.
We're on the road. We're playing a team that's going 4 and 5 wide. And this is just when the spread started coming into play. This is 2001.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the outside linebacker.
They tried to make you split the difference, didn't they?
And listen, man. The other quarterback, he had just threw for 500 yards against somebody the week before. And, man, they came out in 5 wide. Man, coach got me off that field so fast. And I'm like, okay, they're in 5 wide. He got me off the field. Then they went to 4 wide. He kept me off the field.
Mm-hmm.
And, man, I sat on the sideline for probably 70% of that game.
Mm-hmm.
And we won. I didn't really make no plays.
Yeah.
It bothered me a little bit.
Yeah.
And I sat on that sideline and said, maybe I need to move to safety. Because listen, man, what you just described played out in my real life. Like,
And that was in the early 2000s?
This is early 2000s.
Yeah, this is 20 years ago. So just stop thinking you're an outside linebacker. I don't care if you could do it in high school. If you can't play true inside linebacker with your length and size, if you're 6'3" and above, get your hand in the dirt, figure out how to rush the passer. If you're under 6'3", figure out how to read your keys and play in the box because that's what it is. And if you can't do that, you can't play linebacker or rush the passer or play defensive end. And prime example, go look at Georgia's depth chart. Okay, Georgia tries to claim themselves as an odd front defense. They try to say they have 2 outside linebackers. They don't. Okay, they run what they call a mint defense, which is it's a cheat man. It's a poor man's even front. Okay, they play a true zero. They play a true zero. Play a little bit of a 3 technique, but he's kind of just in B gap. They play a 5 and they play a 7. Okay, guess who the 7 is? It's Azeez Ojulari. Go look on the roster. Azeez Ojulari is listed as an outside linebacker. They call it a jack. Their jack plays with his hand in the dirt. He is a defensive end. When he goes to the league and gets drafted, okay, when he goes to the combine, probably this year, he will be running with the defensive lineman. He will not be running with the linebackers. So just stop. If you can't cover and you don't play in the slot, you are not a slot corner, you are not a safety, then you're probably a linebacker. If you're too big to play linebacker, you're probably a defensive end. Figure it out, kids. And if you don't figure it out early, you're going to be like Keith. You're going to get positioned out, and you're going to be sitting on the sideline saying, Coach, why can't I play? Well, you can't do this. You're not fast enough, and you can't cover, so you can't play outside linebacker or in the slot. You don't know how to read your keys, so you can't play linebacker, and you ain't tall enough, and you can't rush the edge because you didn't figure out how to run pass moves. You're going to position yourself out, so figure it out.
You listen, you're spitting facts. The next week, I was playing backup middle linebacker.
There you go.
Regular position on the outside. When I was out the game, the Mike needed a breather, the Will needed a breather. I was in there.
Keith got reps.
I got my reps.
Keith got reps.
I never really sat on the sideline before in my life. And to sit on the sidelines didn't feel great. But, listen, you just had me in my feelings a little bit. I had to take a trip down memory lane. Let's move along. We're going to finish out with our last commitment of the day. This is interesting to me. Interesting for a couple of reasons. First of all, I like the kid. Leonard Taylor commits to Miami Palmetto, 5-star defensive lineman. He's some people's number 1 defensive tackle in the country. And he's yours. Okay. 6'4", 270. Love his frame. He's got an unbelievable frame for the interior. But I have questions, BA. And I know I'm going to let you jump in here. I have questions. Number 1, I don't see the foot speed. Number 2, I don't see the explosiveness off the ball. Number 3, I do not see the accelerate, close, and finish. Good, yes. Is he really good? Is he elite? Is he? I didn't see it. I like it. He's a playmaker now. Gets his hands on balls, picks balls off. But if you want to be elite, and I'm gonna compare him to somebody. If you look at Corey Foreman is not going to be an edge player. No, he's going to be an interior player. But Corey Foreman is the closest thing you're going to get right now to Aaron Donald. His get off in the interior is ridiculous.
Yes,
unblockable, just unblockable, just too fast, too quick, and can get skinny. Can beat blocks in multiple ways. Leonard Taylor, different player than that, different skill set. But if you say, okay, who's the 5-star interior player? Is it Corey Foreman or is it Leonard Taylor? And I didn't know either. And I just looked at the tape. If I looked at the tape, I said, Corey Foreman's the elite kid. The other kid is good, but that's the elite kid over there. I did not see elite prospect out of Leonard Taylor. That's just for me.
Let's take Corey Foreman out of this discussion and just leave him at defensive end like he's being evaluated as right now, even though I'm with you, and so is Sports Illustrated for that matter. SI All-American is of the belief that Corey Foreman will be playing 3 technique when he gets to college or inside 4-eye, whatever, if he goes to odd front defense, okay?
Yep.
Another point of discussion, just like there's no outside linebacker, if we're going to evaluate defensive tackles, I like to separate mine because of Aaron Donald is the exact reason I like to separate mine. You are a shade tech, or you are a 3 tech, okay?
Yep.
Your shades and zeros, I don't need to see you be able to rush the passer. All I need you to be able to do is 2 gaps, stop the run, be a fat boy, clog it up. That's really all I need. I need you to be brute strength, powerful, push the line of scrimmage, hold the point of attack, do all that great stuff. If you're playing 3 technique in 2020, because of what Aaron Donald has done, because of what Grady Jarrett has done to the game of football, you best be able to get after the passer. And I think guys like Leonard Taylor can do that. I don't compare him to Aaron Donald. You compared one of these guys on one of our previous shows, and at this point, they're all blending together because we're talking about so many kids. Leonard Taylor to me is Fletcher Cox. He's that type of 3 technique where he's so long, the appendages are so long that you can't ever get into his chest. And that for a defensive lineman is invaluable. You cannot put a price tag on that because you'll never be able to get locked in. You'll never be able to get engaged and control his momentum, control his pads, and control his hips for that matter because he's so long and so lanky. 6'4", 270 pounds. The ceiling of this kid, because I don't think there's very much bad weight on him, I think the ceiling weight-wise is 300 pounds. I think he can get to that point. And at that point, he is physically as impressive as Fletcher Cox is. And what you talking about, that burst, that explosion, yeah, it's not really on tape. But he is a good athlete. He is a good athlete. I think he's got fluid movements and fluid body patterns. My other thing I want to talk about a little bit, this is our 3rd Palmetto High School kid we talked about tonight. Is it safe to say, and 2 of them are 5 stars by most of the people in this industry.
Right.
Is this safe to say Palmetto High School has got the most talent on the defensive side of football in the country? Is that fair? Because I think that's fair.
Ooh, I don't know about that, but they're definitely in the argument.
And I guarantee you, in Miami-Dade County, knowing the talent that's around that area, they ain't the only 3 dudes on that football team on that defensive side of football. The other thing I want to talk about, Miami, man. We talked about Florida loading up their defensive backfield. Miami is just they're putting a border around Dade County and saying, you ain't coming in here and pulling out, except for the other 2 Palmetto kids, okay? Exception. We'll just leave them out of discussion. And they're 2 pretty good football players.
No doubt.
I understand that. But 12 of the 21 commits for Miami are from Dade County, including James Williams. I mean, say what you want about what they did the last couple of years. Say what you want about what that roster and what that football program has looked like over the last couple of years. They're recruiting, baby. They getting after it. They're recruiting some good football players. I do like this kid a lot more than any other 3 technique we've had on this show, on these show sheets that we've talked about. I do think he is a day 1 pass rushing threat. I think he can get after it. We're going to have to see if he's got play strength, though. If he can sink his hips and he can hold the point of attack, because he just hasn't been tried. No one's tried him at the high school level. We'll see if he can hold double teams, because that's what he's going to get. You play 3 technique in college, you're going to have a guard and a tackle come at you with a tag block, and they're going to move your butt. If you can't figure out how to split and hold your point, then you ain't going to play. But he will play on 3rd downs really, really early at Miami. To me, this is the kid that has the ceiling for the highest instant impact his freshman year because of his just physical presence, what he can do on 3rd down. I think this kid plays early. And the situation there at Miami. Look, that defensive line, they ain't seen a dude like this come through in a long time. Okay? Say what you want about him, Keith. I know you ain't sold on him as much. They haven't invested in a 5-star like this on the defensive front in quite a while. So he will get early playing time, and I think he'll play well.
When you talk about a 5-star BA, I always come back to, is he a dog, though?
Is he a dog, though?
Is he a dog, though? Because when I turn on the tape, right, and there's a lot of evaluators out there. When I turn on the tape,
for people who can't figure it out, if you've been listening to us by this point, we are tape evaluators. That's it.
Yeah.
We are 100%.
Don't tell me about what you did at a camp. Don't tell me about what you did in T-shirt and shorts, because I don't want to hear it.
If that camp don't have helmet and shoulder pads on, you can throw that out the window, because Keith and I ain't looking at it. I'm going to tell you that right now.
It's just what it is. When I look at the tape, because I'm a firm believer in you are who the tape says you are. Now, you're saying that this kid is a good athlete. But the tape says this kid has slow feet, and them feet aren't popping, right? Yeah. There's no acceleration. There's no close on the ball. I don't see that on tape. So it gives me a little concern.
To be fair, do you see that even today in Fletcher Cox game? That's why I compared him to that.
Yeah, yes. His close game, yes. Yeah, go back and look at Fletcher Cox.
Because I see a brawler. I see just somebody who's going to physically dominate you. When I watch Fletcher Cox.
Watch the last 2 steps towards the quarterback. And I rewinded Leonard Taylor multiple times. And I'm trying to find the accelerate, the close, the fence. I'm trying to find it. And I did not see it on tape. That concerns me, okay? Not saying that he does not or cannot have it. I just don't see it right now. Fletcher Cox, I do see it. But here's the thing. When I see him even get shots on a running back, just go back and look at the tape.
Yeah.
Is he
You don't
is he
see-
killing?
you don't
Is he
see
killing
death.
somebody?
You got to see death from a 5-star D
I
tackle.
really
hear
do.
I hear
Look,
you.
go
I
to
hear
Corey
you.
Foreman's tape. When he
I
gets to a back
hear
or a quarterback, he's trying to kill people.
I hear you.
And
Fair.
I just don't. I always ask myself, "Ba, is he a dog though?"
Now, you know who is a dog and who my number one shade technique prospect in the country is Mason Smith, and we can end it on
Ain't no
that.
doubt.
That's a dog. That
That's
is
a
a
dog.
dude, okay? And he's going to play shade tech in college. That if we're just going to combine the two and we'll bring in Corey Foreman too, I would probably say Mason Smith. Honestly, I know everyone says Corey Foreman is the best player in the country, and I know he went out to the opening and dominated and was the best player there. And I understand that carries weight. I understand he made Tate Ratledge look dumb on a couple of plays, and that guy's a 4-star, and he's going to Georgia. Corey was a year younger. I understand he's excelled in the last year and a half. Mason Smith's the real deal, folks.
Ain't no
I'm
question.
telling y'all that right now.
I'm not here to argue that.
Wherever he goes, and it's really hard to get them kids out of New Orleans and to leave LSU. And I think that's probably where he's going to go. That's a shade technique. That dude's nasty. Corey's a 3 technique. That is Aaron Donald. You're correct there. That's what it looks like. And I would take Aaron Donald over Fletcher Cox in terms of the body mold. And if we're going to talk about what modern football looks like at the defensive tackle position, there is no more bad weight. If you look at Aaron Donald with his shirt off, he is a specimen. Okay. There's like 2% body fat. Hell, he ran 4.63 at the NFL Combine. That's what it looks like nowadays. Leonard Taylor is not that. So I understand your pessimism here.
Yeah.
But I got to go, baby. I'm on baby dude.
You are on baby dude, man. Let me get you up out of here. Anyway, thanks for joining us here on Instant Impact, man. We'll see you guys next week. Tap in with us, Coach Keith, BA from the GA. You know how we do it.